Notre Dame football said goodbye to a lot of key veteran defenders this past offseason. There is a coaching change with Chris Ash coming in, but it still has a chance to be an elite defense in 2025. Want to talk about two key players that if Notre Dame is able to get back to the mountaintop will be the difference between a very good defense and a potentially elite one again in 2025. Ryan Roberts from A to Z Sports, breaking down everything Notre Dame football. Want to talk a little bit of defense. I know this offseason, obviously saying goodbye to All-American safety Xavier Watts, Benjamin Morrison at cornerback, Jack Kaiser at linebacker, defensive tackles, Riley Mills and Howard Cross. That's a lot of overhaul in one offseason. But fortunately, Marcus Freeman and this staff have developed and created a depth chart of extreme talent at pretty much every spot. And I believe there are two players specifically that are the key for Notre Dame to potentially be an elite defense again in 2025, which they have been each of the last two seasons. When I look at this defensive roster, I say the linebacker position is going to be stellar, even without Jack Kaiser moving forward. Drake Bowen, Jaden Osbury, Jalen Sneed, Kingston Viliamuasa, that second level is loaded. The secondary, although you're losing two key contributors, Leonard Moore returning, Christian Gray returning, a Don Schuler, young safety group, I think that you have a chance to be very good on the back end as well. The defensive line, I think D-tackle is at least going to be good. Is it going to be amazing? That conversation can be had with Jason Onye coming back, Gabriel Rubio, Donovan Heinisch, Jared Dawson coming in from Louisville, Elijah Hughes, Armel Mukam. I think that is a lot of talent to pull from. It's just not going to be about development. But the two players that I think hold the key from this team, to this defense, from being a very good one potentially to an elite one in college football, is at the same position, defensive end. And I want to talk about Bryce Young, first and foremost, sophomore star, budding star that I think has the upside at 6'7", 258 pounds, to be the outside pass rusher that this team really needs. And I think the clearest answer right now, after showing flashes as a true freshman, I think he has a chance to set the football world, college football world, on fire in 2025 if he's able to unlock his upside and the potential that we saw down the stretch. The other player, and this one's a little bit more of a question mark at this point, just coming off of injury, but it's Boubacar Traore. Despite only playing like 4.5 football games this year, he finished with 3 sacks, 5 tackles for loss. If you had seen Boubacar Traore during his early season stretch, he looked like he was about to be one of the breakout stars in all of college football, one of the best pass rushers nationally. He is coming off of the leg injury, and I don't know exactly the timeline. Some people are talking about he might be potentially ready sometime after spring, maybe before fall camp. That timeline is still a little bit open-ended. If he's able to come back to anything close to full health, and we don't need full health, because honestly, I think that is a little bit of an unrealistic expectation for a player that has suffered such a devastating injury just several months ago. But the plus was it did happen in September. So there is a little bit of a runway here until the 2025 season, until fall camp officially starts. So we might not see him a lot during spring, but if Boubacar Traore can regain just a little bit or close to what we saw in 2024, this outside pass rush has a chance to take a massive step forward with him and Bryce Young, because I think Joshua Burnham is a good player. I think that there are several other good players at defensive ends. Junior Tuea Lamaka you could throw into that bucket as well, but we need difference makers. If you saw their game against Ohio State in the National Championship game, the inability to create pressure, outside pressure specifically, was one of the biggest hindrances to that defense and why they had their worst outing of the season. So I think Notre Dame, if they can get a couple of these pass rushers, Boubacar Traore, Bryce Young, playing their best football, they have a chance to be an elite defense in 2025. Folks, how good do you think Notre Dame's defense is going to be in 2025? Put down in the comments below who are the breakout stars, who are the players that you want to see on that side of the football to help new defense coordinator Chris Ash. And as always, we'll talk to you next time. Subscribe, like the channel, and we'll talk to you soon. Go Irish.